Welcome to part 3 of the pantry clean out. We're going in there, we're going to work the third shelf up, and let me show you what that looks like. Okay, as you recall, we've completed the bottom shelf. We've completed the second shelf. All is still organized from that cleanup. Now we're getting to the important shelves where it's all eye level stuff. So we're heading into this chips, snack bin aisle, vinegars and things like that. I gotta go through all of this, and this is probably gonna take the longest, this and that one. So I actually expect this to be about 2-hour long ordeal. I'd like to set my timer for an hour and just see how far I get. I might only get this side done. So let's find out what we can accomplish here in the pantry clean out. Part 3 is coming along. Well, I can tell you with confidence that we've been living with the pantry shelves, a couple of them that I've done anyhow. We've been living with them cleaned out and organized, and it has really made our home life so much better. You wouldn't think by just cleaning out your pantry that it would do much difference for your family and your lifestyle, but I'm really amazed by how organized this system really is, and I didn't realize how chaotic it might have been for my family members to walk in there and not be able to find any food. It's right in front of them. I can see it. I can point food out to them. It's just not what they want or would pick for themselves. So having this whole system in place where you're organized better, people can find things better, it's all labeled nicely. It doesn't have to be in beautiful containers. You could just use these mason jars like I did, or if you have jars left over from a spaghetti sauce you bought, I would highly recommend saving those glass jars with their appropriate lid and taking the label off, because when you're gonna go organize your pantry, you could be using that jar to put odds and ends things in there, like your different kinds of flours or different sweeteners, things like that, and label them. It just makes it so easy for people to see what's there and what to use and what needs used up, instead of all these bulk packages of protein powder, packages of pasta that were kind of half eaten and half empty. Just knowing how to container those a little bit better to preserve their freshness and to have it look appealing for those who are coming into your pantry to find food, it's really been a game changer. And I don't know if this system has just kind of taken some of the negative energy out of my family, but I feel like, and I don't want to say it's the pantry clean out that did this per se, but I think it was a contributing factor to people getting along better in my house. In general, there's just more patience, more tolerance, more acceptance, more love here. And I can't say that it wasn't this pantry clean out, because I noticed the changes happening when I started doing this work of organizing and cleaning my house. It started to transform my family. Okay, you guys, that was about 30 minutes or so, just taking that off and wiping it. And that's the easy part. So now the hard part is figuring out where I want things, how to organize them, and getting them back on the shelf. So I'm just gonna start with this one side today. Might not even get to this side over here, because you really wanna do this job right. You don't wanna do it half-heartedly and then have to go back and do it again soon thereafter. So what we're gonna do is just finish this out. I've already wiped it down, and I'm gonna start to look at things. Come look at my countertop here. I'll show you. See that? It is all packed full of stuff. Got cupboards over there packed, so I need to go through all of this and just decide what to do with it next. Okay. Like many of you out there, I had quite the tea collection, and truthfully, I go through my tea habits very differently. So I mostly only drink warm or hot beverages in the fall, winter time. I don't drink coffee, but I do have like a coffee substitute. I have some teas that are like an Ayurvedic type of decaffeinated tea that's I guess it could be like a coffee, but it's not. And Pero, you know, I like to drink Pero. I grew up on Pero as a kid. My family always had Pero, so it's probably more of a nostalgic thing for me than anything else. I do love a good detox tea. So people don't like dandelion tea or bitter teas like nettle tea, but I have gotten used to that and I like it. I do them during a detox for sure. Sweet and spicy blends I always enjoy sipping on in the fall time. That caddy that I got was really, I think it was from Hobby Lobby or the Dollar Tree or somewhere, and it's for your utensils, but I use it to put all my tea bags in. I think it's a great organizer for the tea bags. And then of course, going through some protein powders, I'm just gonna get rid of these bags. These bags take up space in the pantry. It doesn't look uniform and it just gets thrown into the back of the pantry. So I'm just gonna keep them in these jars labeled, and I'll start to put them towards the front of the pantry shelf where I can see them better and start to use them and figure out ways to use them. I don't even know where some of these proteins came from. I have a Shakeology in here and other brands that people have brought into the house. I didn't buy them, but no one's using them. So I'm just putting them in jars, labeling the flavor they are, and then just going from there. I've got some hot chocolate and other things. And so it really is just a matter of where do some of these items make the most sense to be in the pantry, and just grouping those like items together. I was just pretty scattered before this. Some things you would eat for breakfast were on totally different shelves, and, you know, other things, baked products and, you know, things you would use for baking, they weren't all together. Mostly they were, but some were scattered here and there. Just some random things here and there. So it's good to have all of these things together in one place so your kids can see it, your husband can see it, and go, oh yeah, let me figure out how to use that into something I want to cook up or use and eat. The pantry sure does get neglected. It's good to go in here from time to time just to organize it and clean it out and dedicate some time to it. And I have a fairly big pantry compared to the one I used to have, which was just basically you'd open a cupboard and that was supposedly. And here's what we got so far. We've got our balsamic vinegar back in here. Toaster, I turned it this way so I could see all the buttons here and use it more functionally. I know it takes up more space, but we've got a lot of space back there. So I put the teas that I use for kombucha way back there. And here's the teas we drink when we have sore throats and want some tea. This is all breakfast stuff. So breakfast drinks, pancake mix, some blueberries to mix into pancakes, hot chocolate in the back, syrup, still cutouts, oatmeal topper, a mushroom powder, which I like to put into a morning drink. Got the oatmeal up here now instead of down here. So down here is all our baked goods section. And we've got some nuts, some seeds, baking powder, baking soda, coconut raisins, craisins, all that stuff right there. So that's what we accomplished today, was this whole shelf here. And then we kind of arranged it down here better. So we haven't done any of this yet, or any of this yet. So we do have quite a bit more that we will get to on another day, because I need a break. Gotta have some lunch here. It's time to go back into that pantry and finish out the third shelf up. So let me take you in there, show you what we got. Okay, this is where we're working today. All of this shelf here, and it goes all the way back behind the door. So I've got to take all of my vitamins out over here, all of my food storage out behind there, just pull it all out, vacuum, wipe this down, and then figure out a good way to organize all of this stuff. Let's get started. I feel really blessed and lucky to have a walk-in pantry, and it's big. I feel like it's pretty darn big. I've seen other people's pantries and they're much bigger than mine, but this is pretty darn big for our family of 4, and it holds all of my food storage really well. But before I had this pantry, I had to get creative. Where was I going to store all of the things I was canning and freeze drying, and buckets of, number 10 cans and buckets of wheat and things like that? I still had that stuff in the smaller house. I was just keeping them in bedroom closets and really cleaning out those closets to be very minimal with clothing, so I could store the food storage on the shelf in the closet. Okay, here's where we are at. We pulled a lot of things out of that shelf, but I still didn't pull out all the vitamins, so I need to do that next. But so far we got this much done, so now let's pull the rest of this out and see what we got. I just want to say here that having more space is wonderful, but it doesn't actually make it better than having small space, especially if you buy into minimalism and just having the space just for what your family needs and uses. If you buy into minimalism, and I think you should, it's a really great practice to buy into, then you're always going to feel like you're happy because you don't need more space. It's sufficient for you what you have. And so you really have to learn to make do with the space that you have. Well, this is embarrassing, but here's what I have. Basically a whole pharmacy in here of vitamins I'm not even using. I hardly ever take vitamins because I feel like I feel really good. But maybe I could feel even better. I don't even know. So I'm gonna go through all of these when I have some time today, and I'm going to get rid of whatever I feel like we're not gonna use or I'm not using, and then I'm gonna start using more supplements for a while, see how I feel. I like to supplement cycle, so sometimes I take them, and then most of the time I don't. And then sometimes I take them again, and then most of the time I don't. And that's how I use supplements. But I've got all these tinctures for parasite cleanses, all of this female health vitamin stuff that I've really never taken, a lot of stuff to clean out the colon, a lot of stuff here. So vitamins, multivitamins, wow, just a lot. This is a zeolite And these were expensive, and I bought them to help detox the body, as far as if it was back in 2020 when I bought those, because there was mandates in some places on vaccines, and I was not about to get a vaccine. But if I had to get a vaccine, zeolite would be able to detox my body from the harmful chemicals that are in vaccines. So that's why I bought that. My brain is always thinking, like, what do I do if I have this or that? Of course, I have a bunch of essential oils, so that's a whole other place in my house where I keep those. But look at all this. We got to start using our vitamins, you guys. I hope that your pantry does not look like mine does, with unused vitamins. So let's start using them right now. We are ready to start bringing in all of the things that are going to be going on these shelves. But first, let's clean it up. We'll vacuum it, we'll spray it, we'll wipe it down. But as I was saying before, just making do with the space you have means that you possibly don't have every kitchen gadget you could ever want. I'm a kitchen gadget girl, and that was hard for me not to have all the kitchen gadget stuff I wanted, because I just didn't have the space for it. So it's really just learning how to make do with what you have, being okay with that for the time being, and hopefully, your situation changes if you've outgrown your space. It does help to have more space. If you're in a position to purchase a bigger house that has a walk-in closet such as this for a pantry, or you have an area in your basement where you're keeping the food, that is all just such an enormous blessing. But if you're not there yet, don't be sad about it. We were all there at one point, and you might stay there, and it's just a matter of finding joy and making your space yours with where you're at. All right, a decision was made, and these are all our protein powders and more supplement stuff that we all use that are kind of combined use. I'm going to take all those down, and I'm going to move them here, and then I'll just keep my vitamins back over there. And hopefully that'll be a good system to have all supplements, protein, all the things on one shelf. Now, in the hopes that I will actually use these vitamins daily, I have this little pill box here, which I love, and I'm just going to be filling it up with different vitamins from week to week that I can take and just see how I feel. So some of these are for female hormone balance. Seems like a great thing right now to be taking for myself, so I'm going to put some of that stuff in. Some Vitex, some Femigen from Young Living, some Adrenocort for adrenal support. I'm going to put some copper in there. I listened to a podcast on how important copper is for the body, and some people aren't getting enough copper in their diet, so I'm going to be taking some copper. I'm going to be taking some Triphala, which is in India, it's an Ayurveda supplement that they take daily just for digestive help. So, and it just has some really good herbs in it. I like it. Whenever someone's like, I'm constipated, what should I take? I tell them to take Triphala. I'm also going to be taking some organ meats and some hair, skin, and nails. Little tablets here. So we'll see what that does. You start to really lose hair as you get older. I'm noticing my thick, amazing locks aren't what they used to be. My hair has thinned out. So maybe taking some supplements. I do take collagen. That seems to help a little bit. But the body just changes as you get older, and we embrace change around here instead of fight it. Taking a B12 complex right here. And that will be the supplements that I start to use on a daily basis. I found my Penetrex. This is joint and muscle therapy. I get it on Amazon. I love it. But let me show you the pantry now. I haven't got all this put away yet, but I will. Okay, here we are. We now have protein powder, pre-workouts, fat burners here, greens, Outlive to 100. Outlive 100 is a great green product, like superfood greens. Okay, we have all of our colon health supplements here and enzymes, beef organs. I've got all of my parasite cleanse vitamins back here with some stuff here. My women's supplements here for menopause or adrenal support, whatever is all here. And then regular vitamins that are like a B complex, some copper, hair, skin, and nails, just random kind of stuff here. In this bucket here is all our cold and flu vitamins like vitamin C. I've got zinc and quercetin in there, some iron, some zeolite, some allergy support there, some colloidal silver, and some multivitamin stuff all in here. And garlic extract is in there too. So, vitamins and supplements. I mean, it's not perfectly in containers, you know, but it's exactly where I can see it. It's all cleaned out. It's awesome. And I ended up putting mustards, ketchups, barbecue sauces. It's all in that basket down here by the pasta. So that makes sense there. Now we have this whole shelf where our protein powders were. I'm going to start putting the peaches and the food storage back over here. And then maybe tomorrow or the next day I'll start working on fourth shelf. Let's see, this is the fourth shelf up, so I've got to do all this fourth shelf. Okay. It doesn't look too bad, but it's gonna take a little bit of work, a little less than the shelf we just did, hopefully. And then by the time we get up in here, this is all our canned goods anyway, and it's pretty well how I want it. So I don't really have to do much up there, but kind of look at some of these jars and see how old they are, what needs to be used over here. And that's about it. I'll clean some of these very top spots up here. Pots and pans and extra jars. I'll just kind of get around there and clean it when the time comes. But that was shelf 3. Okay, so thank you for joining me for that pantry clean out. Come back for the next video for shelf number 4. We're gonna get it done.